thought we'd start in Morrisville. It's a great example of a Vermont town which seems to be on the upswing after maybe some slow economic years back in the 90s and early zeros. We're broadcasting actually from the Peck Flower Shop. It's on Portland Street in Morrisville, and it's right near the municipal building for Morristown, which is the actual municipality of the village in town here. And joining me for the first few minutes of the program this morning is Emily Locke. She's the proprietor of Peck's Flower Shop. And Emily, thanks so much for joining me and welcome to the program.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It's interesting to me, the governor and many other Vermont leaders have talked for years now about the need to try to create an environment here in Vermont that will attract Vermonters to stay in the state. Folks in their 20s, 30s, and 40s who actually, buy the houses and have families and actually provide the people to do the jobs in the state, which is a real dearth right now. Many employers saying they can't find people to do the job in the state. So how has it worked for you? What is it about? So many Vermonters grow up here but then leave. You decided to stay here right near Johnson in the neighboring town of Morrisville.
I did, actually. I worked for Carolyn, whom I bought the shop from. I worked for her for maybe 3.5 years. And took a little hiatus and still stayed around, worked for a couple various businesses. And she decided she wanted to retire, so I wanted to buy the shop.
And tell me, so in the 7 years you've been here, have you sensed that there is more economic activity and so on going on?
It seems like there is. There's certainly new businesses with MoCo. Things are moving around. People are buying buildings and fixing them up. And it's a very historic town, and there's lots of really interesting architecture. The buildings are really cool. They take some work to fix up for sure, but
And tell me about that. Is there growth in housing here too, right in the center of Morrisville? Or?
Oh, seems to be. There are apartment buildings going up everywhere. I have a couple of apartments over my building, and most of the old buildings actually have housing over them. Arthur's has just recently turned into all housing business on the lower level.
Arthur's is a former clothing store.
Correct,
here.
yes.
They closed, 10 or 15 years ago? Or?
Oh gosh, it seems something like that, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact date. It's a business that was here and was a real anchor of this downtown, it seems, for a long time.
It was.
Drew people from all over the northern half of Vermont to come up here and shop for clothing. I did that myself over the years sometimes.
It did.
And it was really a sad thing to hear that it had gone out. But now they put housing in there and all these other new businesses springing up in town here. Seems like it's, as I say, do you feel like it's on an upswing or pretty much even keel? Or
no, I feel like it's on an upswing. I do.
Emily Locke, tell us a little bit about your shop. You were saying to me before the program, we were chatting, you were saying that you've been expanding from plants, flowers, the traditional flower shop fare, and you're adding some gifts and so on.
We are. I have lots of local pottery, candles, stationery, cards, plants. I purchase flowers from lots of local growers. We do daily deliveries.
And then the gifts you've added here, you have a really nice selection, it looks like, of cards and as you mentioned, candles and other sort of knick-knack type stuff.
I do, yeah. Earrings, I have, let's see, I have Gen Con earrings, Scowl. She's in Glover. Jen is in Burlington. I have pottery from Heather Stearns. She's in Wolcott.
Wow, so you're really emphasizing the local crafts.
Yeah, I definitely try to do that.
That's
it's nice to keep things local.
Sure, that is great.
Everybody's really creative.
Well, I really appreciate your taking a few minutes out of your day here and joining us on the radio. And I also want to thank you for playing host to us. A very kind thing.
Absolutely,
I must say,
welcome.
As soon as I walked into the shop here, I said, this is worth a stop just sort of randomly if you're passing through Morrisville, because it smells so great in here.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, it's really quite a nice thing, and it's a beautiful shop too. I've got to say, it's very nicely painted, and the floors gorgeous, and it's really something. So congratulations on having what looks like a very well put together business. That's
Thank you.
Great. That's great.